we will be seeing how to derive the principal stresses acting in a dam. So if I consider the cross section of a dam, I'm assuming the cross section of dam something like this, and you have water in the upstream up to this much height, and you have water up to this much height in the downstream. Now what happens here is there will be pressure due to water on the upstream side as well as the downstream side. So if I see your water pressure on the upstream side will be acting like this, and I'm assuming that the pressure due to water on the upstream side is small p. It's just the pressure, not the the force. It's just the pressure. I'm assuming the length of the dam to be 1 meter. So this is the water surface, and I'm assuming this length, the length is 1 meter. Similarly in the downstream side you have got horizontal water pressure as well as vertical water pressure. So the vertical water pressure will be acting downwards and the horizontal water pressure will be acting sideways. Always remember, whenever you have a plane, the water pressure will be acting perpendicular to it. See here, the plane surface is like this, vertical. So the water pressure will be acting horizontally. Similarly, since you have an inclined plane here, it will be having a horizontal as well as vertical. So in short, it will be having a pressure which is acting like this. It will be having a pressure on the downstream side which is acting like this, and I'm writing that to be P dash. And earlier we have seen that there will be a vertical force because of the compression, the vertical force acting, the vertical force I'm writing PV, which is equal to sigma V by B into 1 plus or minus 6E by B. So this was the vertical force which is acting on the base of the dam. If this base is B, I'm assuming the base of the dam to be B, then the total vertical forces acting on the dam, that is sigma V. Sigma V is acting downwards, and the total resultant acting somewhere, you have the total horizontal acting like this, the resultant is passing like this, a resultant force R. And if this is the midpoint, the distance between the midpoint and the point through which your resultant is acting, this is a resultant, and this distance is shown as the eccentricity E. So you have total vertical force, you have total horizontal force, and the resultant is going like this. Resultant will be passing through the base through this point, and from the midpoint of the base, the distance the resultant is passing is called as the eccentricity E. I hope you remember this. So this is the vertical force which is acting, and the vertical force will be acting. For in this case, there will be more vertical force here. So the vertical force distribution will be like this in this case. So I'm writing that to be the stress to be PV, the vertical stress which is acting. PV is the vertical stress which is acting. So you have got P on the upstream, P dash on the downstream due to water. This 2 are due to water, and this is to the total force at the base. This is how it is acting. Now if I'm assuming a small component here, I'm just assuming a component here. See, I'm just assuming a component here. So I'm just redrawing the whole figure so that you can understand it better. So I've got the cross section of the dam here. I'm considering a small section here which is making an angle here. Now I'm assuming that this surface is making an angle beta. This is making an angle. See, this face is making an angle beta with the vertical, and the faces B, let it be A, B and C. And you have water up to this height. Here you have water up to this height. Here the water pressure acting there is P. Here the water pressure acting is P dash. And here the vertical force acting there is PV. So this much forces you have. If I'm considering this, just assume that because of the huge water pressure you have here, the dam will be having a tendency to move towards this because it's exerting a pressure, water pressure. So this will be having a tendency to move to the right. So when it is tending to move to the right, there will be a shear stress which is acting in this direction, shear stress. So I'm writing that shear stress as tau. So shear stress is there. And in this section, in section A, B, C, the small element, the stress that is acting perpendicular to the plane is the principal stress, and I'm writing it to be sigma. So I've considered small part here at the downstream, and this is the toe, this is the heel. So at the toe I'm considering it to be a very small element here, and you have principal stress acting there sigma, and you have shear stress acting which is tau, and you have water pressure which is acting P dash. So I'm just redrawing that figure here. So I have a small element which was A, B and C. This was making an angle beta, I guess. Yeah, this was making an angle beta. Now on this face you have the water pressure P dash. On this face you have the principal stress sigma. On this face you have the vertical force PV. And since this PV is acting at the toe, this was the toe, see, this was the toe. Since that is the toe, I am writing this at the downstream, so PVD. So just to distinguish this at the downstream, I am writing PV at downstream. Now see, if this angle is beta, what will be this angle? This whole angle makes 90, so this will be 90 minus beta, and this is 90, so this angle also will be beta. Now I am just putting, let this distance be dx, this distance be dr, and this distance be ds. So ds, dr and dx. This is dr, this is ds, and this is dx. Now I'm assuming the thickness of the element to be 1, that is the projection which is coming out of the is 1. Why 1 means, see, I'm assuming here the thickness was 1, so that's why this whole element is having a thickness of 1. So I'm assuming this element is having a thickness of 1 meters. Now what I need to do is, there are some vertical forces, there are some inclined forces. I need to resolve all these forces in horizontal and vertical direction. Initially I'll be resolving the whole forces vertically, resolving all forces vertically. So we know that sigma force in the y direction has to be 0 for equilibrium condition. So if that's the case, see, you have this force here, sigma. If this is your sigma, you have sigma in this direction and sigma in this direction, isn't it? This is your sigma direction. Okay. Now if this angle is beta, it means that this line and this line are perpendicular. At the same time, this line and this line are perpendicular, so this angle will also be equal to beta. Similarly, here you have P dash. This also can be resolved in this direction and this direction, P dash. Now if you see, this angle is, or rather this angle is beta. See, this angle is beta. Here we are seeing that this angle is beta, and this line and this line are perpendicular, this line and this line. Similarly, this line and this line are perpendicular, it means that this line will be beta. So I've got this angle to be beta, this angle to be beta. It means that this component will be sigma cos beta, this component will be sigma sin beta. Similarly, this is P dash, the adjacent side will be P dash cos beta, and this side will be P dash sin beta. So that's how the components can be resolved. Now I'll be considering the vertical forces. So you have something which is going down, that is sigma minus sigma cos beta, and this is acting on this face. This distance is dr and the thickness is 1, so that area will be dr into 1. See, this was the stress, this is the area, this is acting on dr, so that's dr into 1 is the area acting downwards. Similarly, you have P dash sin theta which is acting downwards, that has to be negative. At the same time, it is acting on this length, so this distance is ds and the thickness is 1, minus P dash sin P dash sin beta. P dash sin beta is acting for an area of ds multiplied by 1. Now we have a vertical force which is acting upwards, so plus PVD, and it is acting for this much distance, that is dx, and thickness is 1. These are the forces which is acting. Okay. Now I'll be dividing the whole, this is equal to 0. I'll be dividing every term by dx, dividing both sides by dx, dividing both sides by dx. I'll be getting minus sigma cos beta into dr by dx minus P dash sin beta ds by dx plus PVD dx by dx is equal to 0. I'll be getting this. Now what is this dr by dx? So if you just go to the element, this was your 90 degree, this was beta, this was dr, this was ds, and this was dx. So if you see, this angle is beta, this is 90 degree, dx is the hypotenuse. So if you say dr by dx, dr is the adjacent side, dx is the hypotenuse. So dr by dx is nothing but cos beta. Similarly, your ds by dx is sin beta, and if you substitute that here, you get minus sigma cos beta into cos beta minus p dash sin beta into sin beta plus pvd is equal to 0. Okay, fine. Now I'll be taking I just want the value for this principal stress. I'll be taking to this side. So I can write sigma cos square beta is equal to PVD minus P dash sin square beta. Now I'll be taking cos square to that side. So 1 by cos is sec. So 1 by cos square will be sec square. So I'll get sigma is equal to PVD divided by cos square beta, and 1 by cos square beta is sec square beta, and you'll get sin square by cos is tan. So P dash tan square beta. This is the principal stress which is acting at the top portion. So since it is acting at the top portion, I'm just to distinguish, I'm writing it at downstream. So this is the equation for the principal stress at the downstream. So the principal stress at the downstream is given by sigma d is equal to PVD sec square beta minus P dash tan square beta. And if ever your dam was something like this, you have water at the upstream as well as you have water at the downstream. Now see here you will be having some vertical forces and horizontal forces. So the water pressure will be acting like this, inclined. Similarly here the water pressure will be acting in this direction, which is given by P dash. Now here if the angle which the face is making is alpha, and here the angle it is making is beta. Now right now we have found that the equation for principal stress at the downstream is given by sigma d is equal to PVD at downstream into sec square beta minus P dash into tan square beta. Applying the same principle, I'll get that the principal stress acting at the upstream I'm writing it U. Here the PV, the vertical force, will be acting at the upstream. So PV at upstream into sec square. Instead of beta you have to use this alpha, minus instead of P dash you have to use this pressure, P into tan square alpha. So this is the equation how to find the principal stress at the upstream as well as the downstream. Now if you are resolving it horizontally, you need to resolve it horizontally. All the forces, if I'll be resolving it horizontally, what happens? So it means sigma fx has to be 0. Now what all forces? You have sigma sin beta which is acting in the x direction. So sigma sin beta towards right I'm taking to be positive. It is acting along this length. It is dr and the thickness is 1. And here you have P dash that is acting towards left side, so minus. So P dash cos beta, it is acting for this length which is ds multiplied by 1. Now you have if you take this force PV does not have a horizontal component. The only component that you have, you will be having the shear stress. You have a shear stress which is acting, that is tau. The tau will be acting in the left. So this is having a tendency to move to this direction. See, this was having a tendency to move towards this direction. So there will be something to opposing it. That is the shear stress. So shear stress is acting in the opposite direction. So minus tau, and since this tau is at the downstream, I'll be writing it as tau d. Similarly, I'll be using the equation here sigma d because it is the downstream, sigma d and tau d. And tau d is acting for this length, so that length is dx multiplied by 1, which is equal to 0. So I hope this is clear how you write that equation. Now you'll be dividing both sides by dx. If you divide both sides by dx, you'll get sigma d sine beta dr by dx minus p dash cos beta into ds by dx minus tau d dx by dx is equal to 0. Earlier we have seen that dr by dx is cos beta and ds by dx is sine beta. So you can write it sigma d sine beta cos beta minus p dash cos beta sine beta minus tau d is equal to 0. And what you need to find is you need to find the value for the shear stress. So I can rearrange. So shear stress is equal to sigma d into sine beta cos beta minus p dash cos beta sine beta. We'll be getting this equation. So we'll be getting equation. Already we have found that the equation for sigma d is nothing but PV downstream sec square beta minus P dash tan square beta. Now substitute this equation in this. So you'll get sigma d is equal to PVD sec square beta minus P dash tan square beta. So this was the equation for sigma d. That multiplied by sine beta cos beta minus P dash cos beta sine beta. Now open this. We know that sec square is equal to 1 by cos square and tan square is equal to sine square by cos square. Now open this bracket and multiply it by sine beta cos beta. So I can write I've opened this. I've just expanded. Sec square beta is nothing but 1 by cos square beta and tan square is sine square by cos square beta. That multiplied by the sine beta cos beta minus P dash cos beta sine beta. Try to simplify it. Cos beta gets cancelled. Here cos beta gets cancelled. So I'll be trying to take out sine beta by cos beta outside, sine beta by cos beta outside from every term. So sine beta by cos beta, it becomes PVD. Then you have minus. Since I take one sine beta, there will be sine square beta here. Cos beta, I've taken it outside. Minus P dash. I've taken the sine beta outside and again I have to take a cos beta, so it becomes cos square beta. And from this term, if I take P dash, you have sine square beta and cos square beta. That is sine beta by cos beta is tan beta multiplied by PVD, and here minus P dash. Here if I take minus P dash from both terms, I'll get sine square beta plus cos square beta, which is equal to 1. So this is your equation for sigma tau d. It is PVD minus P dash into tan beta. So this is the equation for your shear stress at the downstream. So if I apply the same ideology which I have already told you, that if you have a dam like this, you have an inclined face here, we have already derived the equation for shear stress at the downstream, which is nothing but PVD minus P dash into tan beta. The same thing if I'm applying on the upstream, the shear stress at the upstream, there we have PV at the upstream, minus, instead of P dash we have the water pressure P multiplied by tan alpha. So this is how you derive the equation for shear stress at the upstream as well as the downstream.